Hello and welcome back to another episode of our Should You Visit series, and today we're talking about Adelaide.
So Adelaide is a city based in the state of South Australia. It is the 5th biggest city in Australia. So before we get on to all the facts and stuff, we're going to obviously share our experience because we went to Adelaide twice.
Two very different experiences, wouldn't you
Very
say?
different.
So I'll set the scene. So the first time we went to Adelaide was at the start of a month of travelling. We were only there for 2 nights, was it? I think it was 2 nights, and we had such a good time. We really liked it. The weather was nice, and I think we were just in a really good mood because we were just started travelling. And it was just such a nice place. We had such a good time in them 2 days. We then went travelling for a few weeks and ended up in Cairns where we were going to settle. We couldn't find any jobs or houses or anything in Cairns, so we thought, we liked Adelaide so much, why don't we go back there? Because it was one of our favourite places at that point.
So then the second time round was a bit of a bad experience for us. We were low on money and we were basically really desperate to find a house share, a job. We both accepted jobs that we didn't, they didn't end up well. I wasn't getting full-time hours. Luke was being messed around with hours. Yeah. It just kept snowballing into bad experiences. Yeah. One after another. With
landlords, with everything.
Yeah, like everything. And that can really have an impact on the way you see a place. But we always said that now we've left Adelaide, we never want to actually remember it for the bad experiences. We'd like to take what our first time was like.
Yeah. And also, the second time we were in Adelaide, we spent half that time living right in the northern suburbs in a place called Salisbury.
It wasn't nice.
If you lot from Adelaide, you probably know what Salisbury's like. We hated it. It was not nice at all.
There's actually a TikTok going around about Australia at the minute, and it says you're either from this side of Australia with like knives, smoking, bad vibes, and then there's like this side to Australia where it's like beaches, sun, kangaroos, and we were in the left side, the not very nice side of Australia, the side of Australia you don't see online.
And I think a big part of the reason we have such a negative view of there is because we were living there. But to be honest, it was a half-an-hour train from Adelaide City, so we can't use that as our example. Today we're talking about the city
as a whole
and why you should visit.
So anyway, that's our 2 different experiences. Obviously we could go into more detail about the tragedies.
But as a place, it's a very nice city. It's just, we're going to remove, as Jess said, our thoughts. It's a very nice city. I'm basing it on the first time we went there. When the sun's out, it's perfect
vibe.
Yeah, it's really good vibes. The beaches are very underrated. To be honest, I think they were the second best beaches in Australia.
Oh yeah,
after
they're really
Perth.
nice. We'll put some pictures in because we actually did get some.
Yeah.
The white sands.
Yeah, the beaches are amazing there, and there's some we're going to come on to the hikes, but it was the best place for hikes in Australia that we went to.
So fun fact, Adelaide is actually mostly known and famous for its beautiful churches and parks. I did actually notice a lot of beautiful churches when we went. There were some really nice ones.
And the city's really interesting because it's in like a square and it's just surrounded by parks.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, like the design of it.
Yeah, it is. When you're on the plane and you just look in below and it's just one big square.
Yeah. So another fact about Adelaide is it is one of the wine capitals of the world. Very popular for its vineyards and just wine.
We actually never did it, did we? We did drink some wine, but...
And you were drinking at that point.
I was drinking at that point.
You used to like wine. I
tell you what.
I don't like wine, so I don't know how I'd go on that.
I actually think back to Adelaide and I did drink a lot of wine there. That was back in the past. Here now, sober queen. 1 year and 2 months.
So we're going to talk about some of the popular things that you can do in Adelaide if you're there living or visiting.
First of all, this is genuinely one of our favourite beaches, and that is Glenelg Beach.
Yeah.
Very popular, very beautiful. In the summer, they do a beach bar, and
it's so sick,
it's a vibe. It is a vibe.
It's honestly, I don't know why there's not other places in Australia that have a beach bar like this.
Yeah.
Only place that I've seen it is amazing. They could have done with that in Perth or Sydney or anywhere.
Perth would have been good if they had
Perth would have been sick with that.
Well, they should have kind of one in Fremantle.
It weren't as good though.
No, it wasn't.
Definitely weren't as good. But no, so good. There's loads of restaurants. Yochi. You got pooed on by a bird. We did a boat trip, didn't we?
Yeah, to try and see dolphins. Make sure you didn't.
No, it wasn't a dolphin tour. It was a sunset tour, but they said there was a chance of dolphins.
I was looking out for the dolphins and...
We went there quite a few times.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of our favourite places in Australia. If we had to live in Adelaide, we'd live there.
Glenelg, yeah,
Glenelg.
definitely. Yeah.
So nice.
Not in Salisbury.
Not in fucking Salisbury. There's the two sides of Adelaide, and you'll know if you live there.
I'm from Salisbury.
So the next thing you can do in Adelaide is go on some hikes. This was probably one of the best places in Australia that we lived for hiking.
And we did quite a lot of them, didn't we?
We did so many hikes. Here are some options if you want to do so. You can go up Mount Lofty, which is a massive hill. It's so intense. That was pretty cool.
Good view.
The views from there were amazing. There's also Waterfall Gully, which is also good. And there is also Aldgate Valley and Waite Conservation Park, which are the best ones for the views. We even saw a koala on one of them.
We did see Luke's first ever encounter in the wild.
Koala as well. I think that was on the Aldgate Valley one.
Yeah, it was.
I think because it was, the weather was good. It was definitely the best hikes we did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you like hiking, then it's...
Because we were trying to save money at this point, so we were doing a lot of
a lot of free stuff, yeah. But the hikes there were so good. And out of the Australian cities, it's definitely the closest to, like, nature. Because in Perth, you had to go a bit further. Obviously, Sydney, you've got to go miles.
Yeah.
But in Adelaide, you can get a 20-minute bus and you're already at the hills.
Yeah.
So it's very good for nature and hikes.
The next one is also one of my very favourite places that we went to.
Me too.
And that is Handorf. It's basically a German village in Australia. And if that was at Christmas time and it was cold, it gives you the Christmas
Well, it was quite
vibes.
cold, wasn't it?
It was cold, but it was still...
But it was June.
It was June, so I couldn't really get my head around the Christmas
No,
vibes.
it was actually my birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they were selling mulled wine in the pubs. They had a whole shop dedicated to Christmas. German sausages, hot chocolates. It was just so nice.
And I got one of them giant beers, like the litre beers.
Yeah, my God.
German, really good vibe. Definitely, just you only need like a night there or two if you're doing like hikes and stuff.
Chilling.
But we had nice coffee in the morning, didn't we?
Yeah, stayed in a lovely hotel.
Oh, that was nice. There's a pool.
Yeah, heated pool as well.
And there's some nice restaurants as well, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely visit.
We ate at a nice restaurant.
Definitely visit Handorf. It's literally 40 minutes away.
Yeah, 40-minute bus.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You can go for the day, but it's nice staying the night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really nice day.
I like staying the night. So next on the list is Adelaide Oval. It's definitely one of the more interesting stadiums in Australia. You can go there and watch Aussie rules or cricket or stuff like that. It's right next to the city, so yeah, definitely worth a little trip.
So the next one, actually we didn't do this one, but my friend Amy did actually invite me to do that, and I didn't do it, which I actually beat myself up about
How
now.
did I didn't go?
It's Kangaroo Island. I don't know much about it.
That's how I did the planning. So professional. I think it's like an hour drive from Adelaide, where you drive down to the coast, then you get the ferry over. Actually a massive island. I didn't realise how big it was. But you can do like a day tour where they take you around all the stuff. There's some really cool beaches and more hikes and stuff. Definitely worth a visit.
The kangaroos on there.
I'd guess so. So next on the list, if you want to go for a little drive out of Adelaide, is the Vineyards. To be honest, they're not even that far, I don't think. You're spoiled for choice. There's some vineyards where you can go, especially if you like drinking wine. So there is the National Wine Centre of Australia, where it is very popular to go on a day tour and try some wines. And there is also Mount Lofty Ranges Vineyard, which is another popular option. So next up, we always do one bad thing about a place. So the negative thing about Adelaide is...
Salisbury!
Salisbury, yeah. For me, the negative thing was, it's alright if you're visiting, but if you're living there, it can get quite boring, especially in the winter. We had the start of winter there, and apart from going on hikes and maybe going out for dinner, whatever, there's not much to do at all. To be honest, it's like a lot of places in Australia. I think when they get to winter, there's not as much to do. But I think Adelaide is probably the quietest out of the cities, so especially in the winter time, there's not loads to do. It rained a lot as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it rains a lot.
It rained so much there, so that'd be the negative, I think.
Also, there's not as many young backpackers, people on the same level as you. Well, that's what we thought anyway.
Yeah, it's more families and stuff,
It's
isn't it?
more like, family vibes. Compared to Perth, which you'd be shocked about, I think. There's a lot more backpackers in Perth.
Way more in Perth, yeah, way more. Hardly know anyone that went to Adelaide.
I don't think many people go to Adelaide.
Hardly anyone goes to Adelaide.
It wasn't on our radar, really,
No,
was it?
we only went there because it was at the start of the coach, the Greyhound coach.
Yeah, that's the only reason we went there, because we thought we might as well, otherwise.
But I definitely wouldn't miss it.
So how long should you stay in Adelaide? Honestly, I'd say max 4 days. You don't need any longer than that. What we did was perfect. We only did 3 days, was it?
Yeah, we actually went to the beach for 2 of them,
Yeah.
didn't we? And how to get there, it's just either fly or drive, to be honest. There wasn't really a Greyhound coach that went there apart from the one from Alice Springs.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't even connected to Melbourne by a coach.
No.
So we're going to give our ratings. We're not going to rate our experience, we're going to rate the place. Unless you want to rate both.
Yeah, let's rate both. Our experience the second time.
The second time.
I'd say a 3.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's traumatic.
I'd say a 3.
Adelaide as a place, for example, when we first went there, I'd say a 7.
I'd say a 7.5.
Overall, it is a nice place to visit. Not as touristy as your usual places, Sydney, Melbourne.
The beaches definitely help it.
The beaches are beautiful, and I really like the trees on the beaches actually.
Yeah.
Like the pine trees, they're really nice. Definitely visit it if you can.
Stay tuned for the next one of these videos because it's an interesting one.
Oh yeah, really interesting. Stay tuned.
Very interesting. So.
It gets fun. Go to the most dangerous place we've been to. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.